Today I'd like to start a new series I'm going to call my top fishing flies. The first one I'm going to tie is a Griffith's gnat. The hook I have in the vise is a standard dry fly hook. This is a size 14. I'm going to use black 8/0 70 denier thread. The Griffith's gnat tied in a size 14 is a must-have fly in your box. I have friends that call this the cheater fly, it's so good. When you can't get them to hit what you're presenting, can't figure out what the hatch is, put on a Griffith's gnat. It just looks so much like a bug trying to get out of the water that they just eat it. For our body, we're going to use 2 strands of peacock herl. Yeah, I'm going to tie them in at the rear. And for the hackle, I'm going to use a natural grizzly. This is a bit of a dark natural grizzly. We're going to tie that in. Now we're going to wrap the entire fly. I've used this fly on hatches, from midge hatches, and you can go down to size 20 or smaller with the Griffith's gnat. But caddis hatches, some mayfly hatches, it'll work. Really, just about any hatch you can use a Griffith's gnat in a size 14 down through 20, and you could pretty much figure on catching some fish. Now that I have some head cement on the shank, I'm going to wrap the peacock herl forward. Be careful of the hook point. And we're going to wrap that forward. Bring that right up behind the eye and then tie that off. Just put a couple of wraps over it, pull it back, put a couple more wraps, and then you can rip off the excess. Very simple. When I tie the Griffith's gnats, I like to tie them with an oversized hackle. So this is probably about a size 12 hackle here. Just give it 3 simple turns and go ahead and tie that off. There's several ways you can fish the Griffith's gnat. You can fish it just as it is, or you can go ahead and trim the bottom off if they're taking emergers or things, flies in the film. I'm going to go ahead and wrap the head. Take my whip finish. Give it a quick 3-turn whip finish. Tug that tight. Trim that off, and I'm going to put a little bit of head cement on there. Now, if you want a little bit of a tail on your Griffith's gnat, just simply tie it in without trimming the front, and that first wrap, the barbels will shoot off to the back. Now, this isn't the only color that I use for a Griffith's gnat. I'm going to go ahead and put another hook in. I'm going to use the same thread and carry that to the rear. Whoop. I'm going to grab a couple of peacock herl here, break off the tips, and tie these in by the tip. This Griffith's net I'm going to make with an olive grizzly, or a grizzly dyed olive. I like to use an olive grizzly that's not shiny. This is a nice dull olive. And there's a saddle. From this saddle I could probably make 7 or 8 Griffith's gnats. We're going to tie all of that in. And I like the olive. If the natural doesn't get them, switch to the olive. And I'm pretty sure you should have success. Take some of that head cement. And go ahead and wrap these. Like I said, size 14, any hatch, fish are rising, throw a size 14 Griffith's gnat to them, and you should have pretty good success. We'll wrap this all the way up to the front. You might have heard me say it before, but I would say 50% of the trout that I catch are on a Griffith's gnat. Now with this hackle, I have a little bit of the stem exposed, and that first wrap isn't going to send any hackle towards the rear. 1, 2, just 3 wraps is plenty. When I use oversized hackle, I make fewer turns with it. It works great for crane fly larvae or crane fly hatches too. All of that, those long hackles and things, it just looks like some kind of insect trying to escape through the surface film. And emergers stuck in the surface film are probably the most vulnerable stage of the insect's life. And that's that. Only takes a minute to make them. Now the second fly that is one of my tops is the GSS emerger. Now I have a wet nymph fly hook, and this is a size 16. This one just happens to be a 1 extra long. I'm going to use the same black 8/0 thread, and we're going to put a base of thread to the rear of the hook. The way I like to fish the GSS emergers is by using a Griffith's gnat or a deer hair caddis and tying about 10 to 12 inches of tippet to the bend of the Griffith's gnat, and then use the GSS as a dropper. This will keep it close to the surface. It looks like a pupa emerging. For this, we're going to take the Gartside Secret stuff. You can go to jackgartside.com to get this. It is well worth the price. You just pinch off some of the Gartside Secret stuff and just dub it onto your thread. It's a little bit messy at first, but once you get it started, it'll go in and dub in there really nice. I also tie these with orange thread to give it a hot head. But you get a caddis hatch where they're taking pupa. You show them this GSS emerger, and I pretty much could guarantee that you're going to take that fish. Give that GSS emerger on the dropper. Use your dropper fly or your indicator fly for the indicator. And your GSS will be just underneath. Might even be floating, but they're going to take that GSS. Now we got the body built. Now we're just going to take another, you can see that it's pretty stringy. We're just going to take another, break off some. And we're going to tie it to the top. Very simple. Both of these flies are very simple. I'm going to, I'll even turn this over. Take that GSS that was going to the front and just pull that over. Yeah, just pull it to clean the eye there a little bit. You can even use your thread to pull it down. And there the eye is clean. And just tie this off so that you have the GSS going all the way around. I'm going to take my whip finish . Of course, you can fish the GSS all by itself if you'd like. As a wet fly, swing it, cast across, and let it swing across the current. Well, I kind of have a little bit of a bulky problem up here. I'm just going to go ahead and break some of that off. Kind of thin that out just a little bit. I don't like to cut these. I would rather just break them because then you'll get different lengths on them. Get that stuff on the bottom. We pull that towards the back. Take that and spread that out a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit of head cement on there. And here we have two of my top fishing flies. We have a Griffith's gnat. Tie 10 inches of tippet to the bend. Tie on your GSS emerger, and you are going to catch the fish. It's been pretty cold around here, so I haven't seen any dry fly action yet. Water's high and cold, it snows, it rains. So it'll be soon, but I'll be out there and I'll be using this combination. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends, leave comments, questions, suggestions, and most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.